Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we're going to be reviewing Guerlain's Shalimar Millesime d'Iris. So the Iris Millesime of Shalimar. I have the box right here. As you can see, it has a teeny tiny Millesime Iris at the bottom. But for the rest, it's our kind of Shalimar Eau de Parfum concentration. 50 ml is all they give us. The release is 2023. Delphine Yelk. I hope I pronounced the surname correctly. Delphine Yelk is the nose behind this. We have a lady designing for Guerlain. Yes. I'm kind of glad Thierry Vassa is kind of not. Did she deliver? Did she ever? Here it is, the baby. I have sprayed it on. Unfortunately, limited edition. Unfortunately, not going to be in production next year. I wish this was a staple of the Guerlain collection because this thing is insane. Let me spray on a little bit more just here for the opening bergamot notes. Oh my God, this thing is... Okay. Wow. Okay, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. superdacob all spelled together there for extra perks as well. Thank you to my members and patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week on my main superdacob channel, so go follow me there as well. I'm a huge fan of Shalimar. I have all the concentrations, from the Eau de Cologne to the Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, and the Extrait as well, which I adore. Here in a 30 ml splash bottle. Now, oh, the bergamot opening. I mean, this thing is mind-blowing. And I love it so much that I had to... It was hard for me to find this one. It was released around October of 2023, and of course sold out really quickly. And I had to really struggle. I had to struggle to find another bottle because, sorry, I'm just trying to move this chair, and I got it. And they wrapped it up in this beautiful package with the Guerlain ribbon and the Guerlain kind of holiday vibe. So I do have a backup that I'm going to keep wrapped, and it's going to be waiting for me for when one day I finish this bottle, and I have a sneaky suspicion that day is going to come soon. Let me tell you where it's at. So we got bergamot in the opening notes, and then we have the orris root. We have iris and the orris root. The orris root is the root of the iris flower, of the iris pallida in this particular case. And it is an Italian orris root that they're listing here. The distillation or the extraction of it, orris root has a suede quality to it, like a leather suede, like a velour, like a velour type of quality to it. So you're smelling a leather accord in here, but we got what do we have here? Madagascar vanilla, caramel, vanillin or vanilline, and then we got musk. Now, the classic Guerlinade vanilla is amped here to a boozy level. It is almost a boozy accord. Pardon me. It's also quite smoky. That's why it kind of makes you want to, it gives you that cough reflex, just because the orris root makes it also feel like it's smoky. It's a smoky, suede, deep accord. And it feels like a fire inside of a log of wood, but the fire has been turned off, and then inside of the wood we still have the ember. It's like kind of, or ember. It's glowing inside, but it's about to stop. The fire is about to get extinguished, and you sense the smoke emanating from the log. and it captures the frost and the cold air surrounding you. You're, by the way, in nature, you're outdoors, pine trees all around you. This is such a natural vibe. It's like you're reading one of those really, really old school novels. Best if they are a Russian novel about existentialism and the loss of love and deep poetic thoughts of abandonment and trying to survive your own self and contemplating the limitations of life, how short life is, the existence, and why does all of this make even sense anymore, because it doesn't, you know and all of this while you're alone in the woods, and it's in the middle of the night, snow around you. The only thing you hear is the silence of frost. And you know how snow, when it lays down, it's not snowing anymore, but snow functions like a miraculous absorbent of sound. It's like a natural filter for sound, and everything becomes more cottoned out, like cotton pads. So everything is more, there's no echo. It's a suede quality of stillness and silence, right? So but that silence has a sound quality to it. And you hear that crackling of that log that's extinguishing slowly. And there's that warmth there, but all around it, it gets colder and colder and colder. And then when you look up into the sky, you get the aurora borealis. And the aurora borealis is all the shades of this bottle. We got from the gold to the red to the blue hues, hitting into those kind of more white, pinky accords as well. And you're looking up and it's all kind of just waving in the sky. And then you look down and kind of that light emanates on the crops of the trees, the pine trees. And then as it fades down, it gets darker and darker and darker. Then you have that kind of one line in the forest that is completely dark. And then as you go lower, now we start getting the light that's emanating from that log that has burned down, but there's just a little bit of vibration of light still going on in there. It's just about to get extinguished. And when it does, you are completely alone in the dark. And you're all alone. But strangely enough, for the forest setting, and we're deep inside this forest, we're not afraid of wolves or bears. This perfume just makes you feel so safe. You're at peace. And that silence and stillness literally allows you to embrace life with all its short brevity. That knowledge and acknowledging the fact that we are on this world for a very, very, very short period of time, right? And instead of being scared and panicking about it, just for one night, within the stillness of that dark night, where everything is covered with snow and the silence lives thanks to the snow, because the snow absorbs whatever sounds of fear might poke at us to trigger our anxieties. It's all gone. For that one night, we are at peace with the world, with nature, with ourselves. Oh my God, this thing has all the colors of the rainbow in it. This is insane, because as I'm kind of smelling it, it goes from gold to brown to amber to red to blue to green to yellow, purple. Oh, and just as the orris root goes more suedey and cool and cold, you know, when you touch suede, unlike more glossy leathers that feel cold to the touch when you first touch them, then they warm up pretty soon with your body heat. Suede always feels cool but never cold to the touch. It's comfortable to the touch, right? That's how this feels. There's that comfort. It's cooling, soothing, but warm enough to not make you suffocate from the heat. You know, you're not going to sweat in this thing. You're going to breathe. Beautiful Steps in the chat says, you just made me realize why where I live now feels like home. This is a masterpiece. And coincidentally, Shalimar Millesime Iris is the only the newly launched perfume of 2023 that I purchased. I've been much more thoughtful with my purchases of fragrances. I don't, you know, I want to get to know the perfumes that I love, and I need a lot of time to spend with them, to get to know them, to learn about them, to feel them, to let them tell me a story. And I'm not the type of person who can go through 50 perfumes, you know, a week or in a month and review every day a new one. It's just not me. And I have purchased this year quite a few fragrances that I already own, either backups or because I emptied a bottle, I repurchased the same perfume again. But I have not purchased new releases except for this one. This is my only new release. Not, you know, the only new release of 2023. Shalimar Millesime Iris. And it's boozy as well. You know, you're slightly inebriated in this forest, sitting alone in front of this kind of extinguishing log. And you've had a little to drink, you know. So you're kind of just slightly numb. The tip of your nose, your cheeks, you're feeling that rush, that slight delicate numbing rush. It's a boozy vanilla, musky boozy vanilla. And oh man, this thing, it glows from within. I do not know how they achieved this. But as I'm kind of warming it up with my nose, you know, to kind of pop the molecules and get that dry down out, it's the same effect you get when that log is about to extinguish and then you blow onto the log and that fire in the center, the glow and the ember just kind of expands, and all of a sudden the log starts to glow more when you blow air onto it. And when you stop blowing, it kind of retracts. That's this. That's literally the nature of this perfume. It's alive. And the oxygen you give it activates it, and the absence of oxygen extinguishes it. I mean, this thing is goosebumps, really. It makes me want to stay in that forest. And there's this all forever. I have that vision so clear in my eyes. You are in the deepest part of the forest, and there is a little opening in the middle of all of these thick, dense trees. You have found one spot in which there are no trees, and all around you, in a circular form, all the trees are growing very thick next to each other, so you can't see through the trees. It's the deepest of the forest and the deepest of the nights, but you have that little tiny clearing round clearing. In the center of that clearing, you've created your little place where you're going to create your little bonfire. And then you're going to sit on a log in front of it, right? So wherever you look around you, there's that wall of trees that are surrounding you. And then you look up into the Aurora Borealis and the snow absorbing every sound. It's such a cozy place to be. Like you're so alone, but you're not scared. You're not afraid of anything attacking you. You're not lonely. Um, you're really at peace. You are in a place, in a mental state of mind, and in a physical place where you have no more questions. You're not fighting back against anything. You're not nervous. You're not stressed. You just let nature take over. Like the ebb and the tide, and you just let it wash over you, and that breeze, you let it wash over you. You let that silence wash over you. You let that color of the Aurora Borealis on top of you just kind of sprinkle its reflection of dust particles of that light onto you as it falls down into your little opening in the middle of those woods. And you're warm. It is winter. There's snow everywhere, and yet you are warm. It's like being in a womb of nature. Yeah, so alone, but you feel safe. You feel at home. This is a very, very peaceful perfume. Very, very peaceful. Very peaceful and thought-provoking. And this perfume has lived, and it knows so much. It's so wise, and it makes you feel like everything is going to be okay. The stuff you're worried about, you're only worried about it because you haven't experienced certain things yet. So for you, it's kind of scary, but don't worry. It's all going to be fine. And just like that, it lulls you to sleep. And you never wake up again. Kev is asking, how is Shalimar Millesime? It is different from the classic Shalimar Eau de Parfum. It is substantially different. The forest that we're in, and that log that is burning in the middle, right? The perfume is not just the log. The entire forest is the perfume. Actually, the perfume is kind of hiding inside the forest. While Shalimar Eau de Parfum is a masterpiece, and when you smell it, you know immediately this is Shalimar. It's like a brick. It's like a compact, clear statement. Shalimar Millesime Iris or Iris is a burnt version of Shalimar. It's hiding. It's not immediately recognizable. Dare I say I prefer this to the Eau de Parfum Shalimar because this one is more layered, textured. It's just on a whole other level of poetry. Shalimar is a highly poetic perfume. Don't get me wrong. Highly poetic perfume that screams of love and tragedy and drama and longing and yearning. But this one is more after all of that drama has passed. Now you're more at peace with yourself. You've lost everything. And you realize you never had anything to begin with. But only once you realize that you've never had anything to begin with, well, you actually had it all. Because everything was inside of you. So it's really, this formula is kind of like coming to terms with your own limitations and mortality, and you're at peace in a very different way from Shalimar, eau de cologne, eau de toilette, eau de parfum, even the extrait. Perhaps this is closest to the extrait in terms of that peacefulness that it delivers than to the eau de parfum. The eau de parfum has an aggression to it. The eau de parfum is a little bit more of a warrior. This is more the wise man that has had all the battles, that has gone to war many times and has survived and is now at peace, not so feisty anymore, you know, more wise, more gentle, but still has a lot to say. But it doesn't scream at you and say, hey, you got to listen to me. No, 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 no. It's a hermit in the middle of this forest. And if you wish to find it, and if you wish to talk to it, it will tell you many stories. But you have to find it. While Shalimar eau de parfum is more like it yells at you, like, hey, I'm here, come over here, let me tell you a story. This one doesn't yell. You have to take that initiative yourself to find it. And that makes it just that much more sublime to me. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Thumb it up if you have. And let me know if you have Shalimar Millesime d'Iris and what sort of effects it has on you. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Bye.